Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. My apologies for the absolute lateness. Emergency situation. Yeah, that part. So let's get into it. So I do not have notes, so this is kind of gonna be like borderline rant, even though Mr. Z has covered this twice already, kind of, sort of. Um, Borderline rant, borderline, yeah, right. So, but this is important, so we will cover this every time it comes up. That part. So, once again, um, Christine Emba, Dr. Green Gorilla, um, Dr. Ron O'Neill, and BGS covered it. Really, Dr. Green Gorilla and BGS, and Dr. Ron O'Neill came up a little bit later. There was another brother that came up towards the end also, and that spoke. Excuse me. Yes. So it needs to be said, if I didn't say it already, this is because we've reached the market cap of the top 20% baller dudes that all these women chasing after. And they're tired of getting played by pretty much white dudes, upper middle class and above white dudes, and getting ran through by upper middle class and above white dudes. The Christine Embas of the world are tired of these guys being arrogant a-holes even more than they would have been already, because they know that they're the men that all the women want. So of course they act like they're the men that all the women want, right? So this is women responding to the fact that they've terraformed the environment to work for them, but they just didn't read the fine print and they didn't do the social math of what it actually looks like when you are moral gods, right? When you terraform the environment to work for you and you don't actually think of at what point do I have to kind of cease my selfishness and being self-interested, because it actually bites me in the ass. At what point do I actually have to work well with others because being this selfish is actually not beneficial, right? At what point? And so Miss Christine Emba, and to kind of answer Gigi, at least in my estimation, remember community college dropout, but this, in my estimation, this is why Christine Emba and Gigi hit it out the park. But I just want to reiterate and add some of my own flavor to it. What makes Christine Emba so have the ability to speak on this is because, one, in our society, especially on the left, we have put on Black women this kind of moral superiority cloak, right? Because not only are they not white, and they're not men. So intersectionality dictates that they have this unbiased, morally superior worldview. And because of that, we tend to believe and listen to them, right? Because their view is unmolested by wanting to be white. Okay, yeah, that's it. Or wanting to be men. Okay, yeah, that's it. Right? And so because we on the left in particular put this kind of moral superiority cloak, or we crown Black women, or we anoint Black women, or we appoint Black women as this kind of morally superior group of people, definitely in contrast to Black men, because Black men want to be white men and Black women just want justice. Okay, yeah, that's it. I would like to direct you to all the women that called in the Kevin Samuels show. I'm just saying. Or all the women from the Daily Wrap Up crew. Or all the women that O'Shea Duke Jackson covers. Yeah, that. Yeah, that. Or all the women that what's her name? Courtney Ryan covers. All right? All of that. That part. Right? So women, that includes Black women, find themselves in a very interesting position. You wanted the college positions, you got them. You wanted career uplift, you got it at the expense of men. It is a zero-sum game, ladies. You wanted the career positions, you got them. You wanted the valedictorian spaces, you got them. You wanted the college enrollment, you got it. You got what you wanted. You just didn't read the fine print to see what it means for your love life. Oops. And so now what you're here with, and we're talking about straight men. We're not even going to talk about the fact that so many of these dudes are LGBTQ in that space that y'all in. Cool. Straight men, which by the way, even Khadijah admits that y'all ain't looking for them bisexual dudes and those pansexual guys that y'all advocate for. The pansexual, the bisexual, the non-binary men, y'all are not interested in them. You speak about them in theory. Yikes. So there's only so many straight men, mainly straight white men, let's be honest, to go around in that upper middle class and above position. Uh-oh. There's only so many of them to go around. And so white women, Latina women, Asian women, black women, y'all all dating the same dudes, mainly white dudes. And they playing y'all and dogging y'all and having fun. And so you want to expand that pool, understandable. But you still want to have all of the I am woman, hear me roar benefits of feminism while somehow ego stroking men to not fully be the traditional men of old, but be the protectors and providers of old. How the hell is this supposed to work? I want to keep my jobs. I want to keep my positions. I want to keep my corner office. I want my daughter to still be valedictorian, right? But I want her to end up with a man at worst on her level. Really, I want above, but at worst on her level. How is this supposed to work? The math ain't mathin', Miss Christine Ember. The math ain't mathin'. As I've said, as BGS has said, y'all want patriarchy under feminist and feminism specifications. It's not gonna work. The math won't math. And there go all of your talk of assortative mating. No, it's women, upwardly mobile women still wanting to practice hypergamy. It's upwardly mobile women still wanting to practice hypergamy. I see you guys super chats and super stickers. Give me a second. I'll look at them and read them in a minute. Thank you very much. Right, on the road. I can't look down like that. Right. Right. Unfortunately, you still want to practice hypergamy. So you want the positions, you want the money, you want to make your own money. You don't want any man to tell you what to do or what to say or how to think. You don't want patriarchy, but you kind of want patriarchy. What? So, Gigi and BGS cover this. They did a masterful job, right? But yeah, no, nobody's signing up to be provider and protector for this lot. Nope, you could keep it. No, Miss Christine Ember. All right. Your sons are throwing their hands up and they said y'all can have it. They're taking their balls and going home, Miss Christine Ember. Not their ball, they're taking their balls and going home. And yes, they would rather, and shout out to Dr. Thunder, they would rather use Jergens lotion and play video games. Yes, they would much rather pleasure themselves and play video games. Why not? That doesn't mean that completely all of these men aren't going to go to school or go do trade jobs. There's some overlap all over the place, right? There's some overlap. Some of the college guys are experiencing the same thing. Many of them are not. Some of the guys that aren't in college or university or didn't go to college and university earn enough, and the women are still swooning over them and chasing after them. Some of them just got the gift of gab, or they just have the look, right? Chisel chin Tyrone or chisel chin Brad. right? They won the genetic lottery, et cetera, et cetera. So there's some overlap all over the place. But for your standard man, it ain't looking good. And because it's not looking good for him, it ain't looking good for the women. Because not enough women understood that they were tied by the hip to men, particularly in the black community. As Mr. Z has said often, dear ladies, you got choices. You don't have to worry about men, particularly black women. You don't have to worry about black men. No, you do not. Right? You could engage in same-sex relationships. You can lobby the US government to make polygamy legal. So 12 of you guys can be with, or excuse me, 12 of you ladies can be with the rich white dude that all of you really want. Right? So yes, Christine Emba, black woman, child of immigrants, um, you know, she has the language, she has the demeanor, she has the cadence, right? All of that, right? But it ain't working for her. Excuse me, wrong. It ain't working for most women. Let me steal one of Yanni's words. What's the incentive? What is the incentive? What is the incentive? That is the question, right? How are we going? And I've said it before. I said it before the Chris and this kind of tour happened. But what are the incentives for men, dear Yanni? No, what are the incentives for men? Especially when we take into account that for many women, they're not actually asking for stability. They're asking for luxury lifestyle. They're saying stability. That's why y'all despise Kevin Samuels. He cut through the crap. The women are saying stability. When you ask them to define what that look like, it actually looks like upper middle class at the least. At the least. The man just put a microphone and a camera up and just let your daughters talk. These are your daughters, America. White, black, Latina, maybe one or two Asians. These are your daughters. These are the daughters of second wave plus feminism, third wave feminism, sounding absolutely insane. Yeah, I want him to be protector and provider, but he's still not going to run anything, and he's still not going to have really much to say. That's just his job. He's supposed to do that. So what are you supposed to do? Be there, exist, right? And then you wonder why the marriage rate is what it is. In the dumps. The birth rate in the dumps, right? In the dumps. Yeah, that's what it, of course it looks like that. What else was it going to look like? Right? So we have Christine Emba, and Gigi, Dr. Green Gorilla covered it. BGS covered it. But why this matters, and we have to understand why this matters. As Dr. Scott Galloway said, at the foundation of much of what we're going through is family, or lack thereof in this case. And because of that, you have a breakdown of so much of the social structure because the men are throwing their hands up. It's less that the women have outpaced them. and more that the women refuse to take up their what would be their responsibility in this supposed egalitarian society. As Anne Marie Slaughter said, when you tell women, hey, by the way, if you want the corner office position, you got to understand how this is going to go. And maybe you'll be the primary breadwinner, right? Maybe, right? And I'm sorry, you guys, I'm a little distracted. Okay, yeah, maybe you'll be the primary breadwinner. And maybe your husband would be the stay-at-home husband. And that's when women get off the train. Well, there you go, right? So now what? Dear America, now what? Dear Western world, now what? Dear developed world, now what? You wanted consumers, you got them. Oops. You wanted hyper materialistic women, you got it. Goddamn. You wanted them to buy into you. You got so scared of the left and of the social movements of the 60s and 70s. You turned your daughters into nice little hyper consumers. Well, all they care about is the lifestyle. You got it. Now what? Now they won't give you white sons, right? You wanted to give the baton to your daughters because you don't see them as a threat and you're not afraid of them. Well, you got it. You don't see them as a threat and you're not afraid of them. And so you took a zero-sum game. You took from the men. You took positions from the middle-class men to give to women and make them middle class. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Except the middle-class women won't marry the men you just took jobs from. Well, there you go. Now what? You gave position to your daughters, right? You gave position to your daughter, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? Except your daughters don't want to end up with your sons because they think they're better than them, right? So, Dr. Scott Galloway says, we've covered this before, but he says, essentially, it's the girlfriend and the wives that tell these men, put on a clean shirt and go look for a job and put the weed down, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But kind of not, Dr. Scott Galloway, because the women ain't even dating or marrying the men, and vice versa. The men are not even dating and marrying the women to even have that interaction in the first place. Dr. Scott Galloway, if you are a marketing professor, this is what you do. How has America marketed consumerism to women? And then what does that mean in the way they view men? Hyper materialism, judging one's sense of self by the expensive house in a certain neighborhood and the expensive car. And all these women are frenemies. So they're friends and they kind of enemies. So they low key competing with each other. So what your man does for a living and what your man drives and what house he puts you in. Okay, then, well, it's the women saying, well, if I can't have this lifestyle, I don't want anything. It's the women saying that. Maybe y'all should actually watch the Kevin Samuels videos that y'all think are so horrible. Listen to the Black Manosphere. Listen to the Roger Report. Listen to Bernard Rally, BGS. Maybe y'all should actually, y'all kind of already are though. Let's be honest, right? Right. This is what it looked like. And Kevin C, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you very much. Thank you for the super sticker, Kevin. And pensive. Uh-oh, Z talking ish. Thank you for the super sticker. I mean, super chat, better yet. Thank you for the super chat. Right. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Right. Exactly, Trell. Listen for understanding instead of hate watching. Listen for understanding instead of hate watching. You've socialized enough men, a good chunk of men in no time, in 50 years and 40 years, especially in the Black community, which you didn't really have to try hard to socialize. They kind of already accepted it. To wash dishes and to, do some of these things in the house and, do chores in the home. It doesn't make you less masculine, and know how to cook and, spend time with your kids, which, by the way, they already said that Black men are the best at that. Shout out to Pew Research. It's the women that said, yeah, see, I like egalitarianism in theory when it benefits me, but then when I got to pay half them bills, hell no, I won't go. And if I got to do the hard manual labor like men, hell no, I won't go. Right? No, thank you. Right? Unintended consequences. The lady said they don't want no parts of it. Nothing wrong with that. Now what? Dear America, now what? Dear Western society, now what? Right? Now what? The women said they're not budging. You socialize the men, particularly in the Black community, not to be threatened by women that are upwardly mobile, women that are doing their thing. So you raised a bunch of good students, and I really have to do a dedicated video to this. Good students and good employees that are horrible girlfriends and horrible wives. God damn. Who keep on telling you it's your sons. Yeah, that's it. Have you ever considered that your daughters are delusional? And they want something that is and it will never be, that isn't and will never be? Patriarchy by feminist specifications. How the hell is that supposed to work? I don't want you to be too demanding, but I want you to, make me feel safe and pay all the bills and provide for me, but don't expect too much. Not on my end. Because I'm not the one who has to budge. It's you. You have the ones with the, you're the one with the notions of toxic, that's toxic masculine. Right? Let these women talk long enough and see how much they want toxic masculinity. Goddamn. Right? There's only a handful of Khadijas out there that, are queer and that, would be perfectly okay dating a bisexual man. And yeah, there's only a handful of those. Right? That mock and make fun of manhood and masculinity coming from straight men, not from women, not from trans. No. Right? So this, once again, Christine Emba, I agree with Dr. Ron O'Neill. Pretty much, they're just complaining because It's they're feeling the pinch when it's time for them to date. When it's time for them to date, when it's time for them to get married, they're feeling the pinch, and so they're complaining, right? So that's all it is, right? And y'all give Mr. Z 1 second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Give Mr. Z 1 second. All right, everybody. So, and we're back. We're back. So, this is what it looks like, right? Um, Miss Christine Emba, I don't know if this is a good faith effort. Um, I do think that it's because it's affecting probably her friends. She's probably hearing her white homegirls complain about it. Definitely her black homegirls, maybe a couple of Latinas complain about the dating scene, complain about these, immature, no good men, complain about like we heard the young lady mention, right? Like these men would rather pleasure themselves and watch, adult content, we'll say, than go on dates. And it's like, yeah, because many of y'all are insufferable and you hide behind your degree. That part. You're insufferable and you hide behind your degree. You're mean, catty, condescending a-holes with character flaws, and you hide behind your academic accomplishments and your career. Excuse me. Right? Have you ever considered, and it's not even okay, fine. We've heard a million times, yeah, I'm not having sex with your career, I'm having sex with you. I'm not in a relationship with your career. I'm in a relationship with you. No, let's say it a different way. Many of you are just mean, condescending, catty a-holes. And the issue that you have is that you try to hide behind your career and your academic accomplishments and the fact that, okay, you're upwardly mobile financially. And are you a kind person? Are you a understanding person? Are you sexist against men? Ooh, damn. Right? Are you sexist against men? Right? There's a lot to think about. Right? Y'all give Mrs. E 1 second. Bro, I'm doing a live, bro. Give me a second. Give me a second. Y'all heard that, right? Freaking coworker, right? And I didn't even clock in yet. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so at the end of the day, Christine Emba and Dr. Scott Galloway and Dr. Richard Reeves and who else? What is the name of the guy that they mentioned? Oh, it's a couple of other people. It's a couple of other people. Who am I thinking of? Oh, I can't remember the other professor's name. But yeah, all of those people, right? So if this is the current environment, then deal with it. How is this supposed to work? And was it this one where was it I think it was this one where Christine Imba mentioned, we still want them to be protectors and providers. How? Just admit that you reached a market cap. You reached a market. Yeah, you reached a market cap. You reached a market cap for those 20% of dudes, mainly white guys, maybe 25% of guys that all of these women want. And for most of them, before they get married, they just have fun with so many of you. And y'all are dating the same guys, right? And that's one of the real concerns that y'all are having. Admit that that's a thing, right? And y'all talk amongst yourselves. Give Mr. Z 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. We're still here, everybody. We're still here. We're still here. So at the end of the day, we're kind of ranting, kind of raging out. This was a little even less measured than the previous streams I've done on this. Because I can understand. I can empathize with going to school, getting your education, being a career woman and putting your head down and from what I understood from Dr. Ron O'Neill, the young lady was a virgin throughout college and whatnot, and if she maybe she still is, right? And if you're looking for you're just looking for supposedly your guy, right? You're looking for your guy. You're looking for your air quotes partner, which we don't do over here. Sorry, ain't nobody being no partner with somebody who's gonna flake on you, and they want you to be a partner when they want you to be a partner, but then they want you to be a husband when they want you to be a husband. Nope. Right. So I can empathize, and then when it fails, right, then it's your fault as a man. Of course it is, because patriarchy, right? So I can empathize with the young lady, with those women, right? You took high school seriously. You got into a good college and university. You took college and university seriously, right? And then you took your career seriously, you're doing well in your career, but your love life sucks, your dating life sucks. And you find yourself at 30, 32, 35, 37, 40, 42, no married, no kids. Right? You're bad. You find yourself on the wrong side of 32, then you find yourself on the wrong side of 35, then you find yourself on the wrong side of 34. Excuse me, 42. What I said 34. And I get it. I get it, Miss Christine Ember, and I get it to all her friends. But okay. Anyway, we're gonna have to pause right here. I will. You know what? Let's do a part two in the morning. Let's do a part two in the morning, way more measured. Where we'll reiterate this because we're gonna continue. This is because this is becoming a national conversation. We're gonna cover this every time, right? So let's cover this again tomorrow, more measured. Um, and we'll cover it like we've never covered it before because we've covered it like 3 times now. But we'll cover it like we've never covered it before because it's important, and you never know who's listening in. So they heard a little bit of Mr. Z raging out, but it's important that we say, look, we know that at the foundation of all of this stuff are relationships and intimacy, and man-woman relationship. And if what we've done is tell our sons that they have to provide and protect under a new feminist paradigm, and we still didn't necessarily give them the new social contract, which, by the way, they're probably going to tear up. But we still haven't given them the new social contract. Then how's this supposed to work? There's no everything is everything. What are the rules? Even Scott Galloway speaking to this. What are the new rules? Mr. Scott Galloway, they don't want to tell you the new rules, right? So on that note, we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. You'll go check out other Black Manosphere content. I think Art New Style streaming, and other non-Manosphere content. All right, everybody. Mr. Z out.